Y2K, baby. We're in a new millennium. Welcome to the 2000s. I remember this moment. It's not this moment, but I remember entering the 2000s, just feeling how crazy it was that we were coming into a new millennium. We're going to talk about it today. So, in case you guys have missed it so far, this is my 33 to 33 series, which means we are streaming 33 days in a row until I turn 33 years old. And each day we are covering a different year. We're talking about the 5 highest grossing films from that year, the 5 topping the charts billboard songs, the 5 most watched TV shows, just the landscape of the US, the world-ish, and the entertainment industry at the time, and a little bit about my personal life if we get there. How do we get there? Well, by you guys sending in Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. That's how you can support the show. This is a fan-funded platform. The only way I'm able to be here is because of you guys. So if you want to send in support, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Let me know what your favorite movie of 2000 is, your favorite show, your favorite song, something that happened to you that year. Anything 2000 related is fair game today, plus whatever it is you guys want to talk about in general. Happy Juneteenth to all. It's a big day today, a reason to celebrate, no doubt. And let's start with on this June 19th. Our first Streamlabs came through from Mike Joyce. He said 10/33. I think this was my first year of Boy Scouts. I was only in a few years, and I wasn't as into it as you were with the Girl Scouts. I'm pretty sure I was the only in it because my troop leader's son had Super Smash Bros. On his Nintendo. In Boy Scouts, did they let you play Super Smash Bros.? Listen, it's fine to not have been as into Boy Scouts as I was into Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts was amazing, and Boy Scouts sounds like there was a ton of issues. Some people loved it, but Girl Scouts was a completely different thing. They don't really even have similarities. So the different. Thank you for letting me know. RQMDSMD says, turned 40, got my first and last custom shop strat/black cherry finish. Still have it and play it 24 years later. What is custom shop strat/black cherry finish? I don't know what that is. Let us know. That is a blind spot for me. Send in that support. Thank you for being with me in the daytime. The reason I'm not streaming at night tonight is because we do have World Girls tonight. Oh, it's a guitar, Ash? Oh, very cool. We have World Girls tonight, and we're doing a Patreon stream afterwards. So I'm doing a quick one today. I have therapy at 11 o'clock. So we are only going to be here for about 30 more minutes. So send in that support now. J.A. Dub. Gone in 60 Seconds came out with Cage. I imagine what the world would be like if that became the car franchise rather than Fast and Furious. Aha. Well, one of those was like, not like Gone in 60 Seconds was so grounded, but Fast and Furious goes to space. Can you picture that for Gone in 60 Seconds? I'm not sure. Send in your favorite things of the 2000s. Let's talk about the 2000s for a second. 2000s, the year of the dragon. This is the zodiac sign of the dragon, which is people who were born in 64, 76, 88, 2000, 2012, and this year. So we are currently right now, 2024, in the year of the dragon. They're often seen as natural leaders due to their strong characteristics. They possess qualities like power, innovation, and charisma, which makes them excel as leaders in various fields, including business, politics, and the military. It's interesting. So that is the year of the dragon, y'all. What happened in the year of the dragon? Well, as already mentioned, new millennium. In this year, Nintendo announced their GameCube. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston tied the knot. Everybody was obsessed with them. Bill Belichick came and became the head coach for the New England Patriots. Big year for the Pats. Big Brother premiered this year, one of my favorite shows of all time, and I feel like it completely changed the reality TV landscape and future forever. Everyone was playing Snake on their phone. You guys remember Snake? This was on the retro phones. Snake. was the jam. In 2000 alone, Nintendo sold its 100 millionth Game Boy. Big year for Game Boy. This is the year that Coldplay's first album, Parachutes, was released. This was July 10th, 2000. An unbelievable album. I've been in a Coldplay moment recently. I've always loved them. And on the other side of music, this is, of course, when Cisco's Thong 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 song came out. Nothing from the thong song nor Coldplay was in the top 5 songs of the year, so I feel fine telling you guys that off the bat. Just a little bit of the landscape of the entertainment industry at the time. Where should we start today? Where do we want to go today? Okay. Let's go to movies. Let's go to the movies. The number 5 movie of this year is a movie that I cannot believe came out in 2000. To me, when I think about watching this movie, I think about being a child. And I was a child in 2000. I was 8 or 9. But for some reason, 2000 just feels like that's the start of the adult years. Maybe because it is the change of the millennium or what. But in 2000, a movie came out that had a lot of us by the throat. And this movie is Dinosaur. Dinosaur came out in 2000, and it's the 5 most watched movie of the year. An orphan dinosaur raised by lemurs joined an arduous trek to a sanctuary after a meteorite shower destroys his family home. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember dinosaurs? The next movie, Sam says, what the fuck? How is Dinosaur number 5? Yeah. Okay, the next movie is a movie that I loved and now do not watch. If you know, you know. But I will tell you guys at the time, I thought this movie was so cool and innovative. Now, and again, if you know, you know. What Women Want. This is the Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt movie where he could hear women's thoughts, which is now super creepy. This movie did very well. The next movie that came out or that was on this list in that number 3 spot, any guesses for the number 1 and 2, by the way? Number 3 spot, I don't remember. I, of course, know of this movie. I don't remember if I ever watched it or not. I think I probably did. I put it on the thumbnail for this. That is Castaway. Some people have said this movie is kind of lackluster. I really don't remember. I feel like I must have watched it at the time. What do you guys think about Castaway? Good, mid, what? Number 2 movie, another person that has had some issues in the past, but this is one of the greatest movies of all time, starring Russell Crowe himself and Joaquin Phoenix. We got some anger issues on the set, but the movie is Gladiator, and boy, oh boy, did it slap. Are you not entertained? Yeah. And let's talk about the number 1 movie of the year. I did not think that these movies at this time were as popular as this movie being the number 1 movie of the year. This is a big franchise. They have their 8th movie coming out next year. Any guesses on what is the number 1 movie of 2000? And I'll give you another hint. It is the 2nd of the movies. Anybody guessing this? I haven't seen anybody in here. It's Mission Impossible 2. Mission Impossible 2. This is the number 1 movie of the year, grossing $546 million. Wipes the floor. It, really just absolutely annihilated. I haven't seen Mission Impossible 2, maybe since it came out. Don't remember it at all. I love the franchise nowadays, though, so I'm sure that I would think this slapped, but I'm just surprised that it was the number one movie. Any thoughts on the movies of this year? Send in the Streamlabs your favorite movie of 2000 or what on this top 5 list do you like the best? So again, it's MI2, Gladiator, Castaway, What Women Want, Dinosaur. You know what women don't want? Gibson. Those are my thoughts. Shall we go over to some songs? I feel like of all the things that set the tone for a year, when you're thinking about the year and you're like, what was that year like? The music so far has been the best indicator for the vibe of the year. Like, oh yeah, I remember the energy, the vibe, the feel of that year. So in 2000, what came out? Now, this is the first time I'm going to go ahead and call this a rock and roll song or more of a rock and roll year. There's a few rock and roll songs on here. It's not fair for me to really say that because I'm going to tell you guys them and you're like, that's not rock. But good enough. This song is on so many of my 90s playlists that I did not realize that this topped the charts in 2000. In fact, I wonder if it actually came out in the 1990s. Let's look. Okay. Any guesses on what this song is? Anybody? Bueller. Yeah, it came out in 99 because I was like, this was a banger in the 90s for me. But this topped the charts at number 5 in the 2000. It is by a band called Vertical Horizon. And the song is Everything You Want. And I got to say, I think that this song truly, truly deserves to be here, even though I feel like a lot of people today wouldn't know the song. I am everything you want. I am everything you need. I am everything inside of you that you wish you should be. I said all the right things at exactly the right time, but he is nothing to you and you don't know why. Banger. Anybody else a big Vertical Horizon fan? Everything You Want. What a slap. Let's go into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What's my name? Roxy Stryer. Evan Hooker says, favorite movie from 2000 has got to be Almost Famous. I remember loving it, but haven't seen it in a while, so not sure how it holds up. Yeah, it's so weird about me doing it like this, where I'm talking about just the highest grossing movies, is that a lot of them aren't my favorite movies of the year. It just shows what people were really interested in that year. Almost Famous to me is better than every single movie on this list. I love Almost Famous. I would even put it above Gladiator. So good, but not top 5 grossing. You know? So that's why I love you guys sending in your favorites, because then we can talk more about a variety of movies, TV shows, and music that came out this year. So send them in, Streamlabs them in, Super Chat them in. We need to get enough support so I can talk about my personal life. If you want to hear about things that took place in the 2000s for moi, then send in that support. If you've been watching this show for 10 days in a row, then maybe it's time to send in some support. Just saying. All right, let's continue. The number 4 song of the year is more in line with what we have had in previous years so far. This song is smoother, cooler. I never would have guessed that it was in the top 5. This is Joe's I Want to Know. I want to know what turns you on. Would you have ever guessed this was the number 4 Billboard song of 2000? Not me. Let's go to the 2 and 3. Hint, hint, they are by the same artist. It's like, can you call this rock and roll? It's certainly instrument focused. The second one and the third one and the second one, same artist, both featuring 2 different artists. One of them featuring Rob Thomas, one featuring the Prodigy and B. They're both by Santana. The number 3 song is Maria Maria. Reminds me of a West Side Story. And the number 2 is Smooth. Really nailed it. This is really, really great. Santana was such a vibe in the 2000s. Santana was in every house you walked into, or at least that I walked into. It was Santana, Carlos Santana, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So between Everything You Want, Smooth, and Maria Maria, we're going a little bit away from pop and a little more rock, instrumental, kind of pop rock. Okay. The number 1 song of the year. If you had asked me when this song came out, I would have said the mid 2000s. I was off, obviously, but this is a song that is such a banger. It came out in 99, topped the charts in 2000s. It is a genre of music that, this artist is a genre of music that I don't typically love, but she nailed it with this one. Absolutely nailed it. And that is Breathe by Faith Hill. I can feel the magic floating in the air. Little karaoke for you guys today. This song was beautiful. I think of Faith Hill as a country artist. I don't think of this song as a country song. It's really just a beautiful, slowed down pop country, I guess. I'm having a hard time with the genres of some of these. This song was excellent. Still listen to it all the time. Cause I can feel you breathe, you're watching over me, and suddenly I'm melting into you. The love songs tend to top the charts. Sam, do you need to listen to the song because it's such a banger or because you don't know it? Tell me more, tell me more. Everybody tell me more. Send in those Streamlabs. If you have already Streamlabbed in, thank you so much for your support. We're likening it back to being like show 1. And some of you guys have been saying to me, you really want me to do the shows in the daytime, but they don't perform as well in the daytime. So if you want me to stick at this time, make sure you send in those Streamlabs. We did get a Streamlabs from Ash, continuing with this trend. He said, so I'm realizing I messed up the math. And if I keep doing this, it's going to cost me over $600 by the end. So I might not be able to keep doing it all the way. No worries, Ash. You got this. I appreciate any of the support so far. And hopefully other people pick up the slack when you fall off. He said 2000 was deep in my Bollywood era. Saw all the top 10 Hindi movies, but only 7 of 10 Hollywood. Wow, that's interesting. I don't think at this age I even knew what Bollywood was. Obviously, that's different for you and me, but that's cool that you watched all the top 10. What was the best one of the year? Let us know. And Streamlabs in. The rest of y'all, don't make Ash carry y'all on your back. Shout out to Ash, Evan, Hooker, RQ, MD, SMD, and Mike Joyce for being our Streamlabser of the day. A happy Juneteenth to all. And thank you to J.A. Dub for the super chat. Y'all are the reason I'm able to continue doing this show. So thank you for being here. Let's talk about the TV shows. So the craziest part about 1999, as you guys know, is that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was the top 3 shows for every day of the week. Mind-blowing. So I'll tell you guys here, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is show 3 and 4 for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Wednesday and Tuesday. So once again, annihilating, but not top. So 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 5 has 3 shows all tied for 5. So let's go to that number 2 show because that number 2 show just stays on the charts. I am shocked with how well this performed at the time, how little it is talked about now. I've already mentioned that. The number 2 show of 2000 was ER. Do you guys hear anybody talk about ER anymore? And I loved this show. But it's not spoken about like Friends or Seinfeld, which were the other shows that kept being tossed in there with. in that NBC time slot. Just an absolute banger of a show. So in that number 5 tied spot is Monday Night Football and Friends. Friends just can't make its way to number 1, y'all. And also tied with Friends and Monday Night Football is Everybody Loves Raymond, which I'm so excited to see on the charts. I'm calling them the charts, the Nielsen rating. I loved Everybody Loves Raymond. This just feels like more so than Friends or Seinfeld. Everybody Loves Raymond feels like one of those classic family sitcoms. So that was number 5. Monday Night Football was number 5, and Friends was number 5. Then it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Tuesday, then Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Wednesday, then ER. Any guesses for that numero uno show? What was the number 1 show? Let me know. My memories are all this year very tied to this show. It is the first year that it premiered, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that Big Brother and this show premiered at the same time. And yes, you guys are guessing it in the chat. This is the start of Survivor, which I was completely obsessed with. In my household, we all bought buffs and we wore them around. And it was like, come Thursday night, I'm guessing that's when it was then. I think it was Thursday. We would sit down as a fam and we would watch Survivor in our buffs. We loved Survivor. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to be doing my skincare routine while I was doing this. Survivor was our jam. We were I already did toner, just so you guys know. We were so obsessed with it. We just absolutely thought that the concept was so cool. I think it started the conversation of like, who would survive longest? And that was so fun between families and friends. We loved that, like, who could make fire. And because I was a Girl Scout too, it was cool. And then at this time, everybody got to bring an item, and depending on what they would bring, like people would bring a toothbrush or whatever, and having that conversation, it just sparked a lot of conversation. And the first year, this was Richard Hatch's year, right? Yeah, this was the it show. And when you think of 2000, it's really Survivor. Survivor was the biggest thing because it was new and it was different and it was innovative, and people still to this day are completely obsessed with Survivor. My brother and my sister get together to watch it every week. I fell off of it after my mom passed. I want to get back on it now though, but it was just too difficult for me at the time to so everybody knows, in case you guys ask me about my skincare routine sometimes, I have been sleeping with these things on my face called patchies, which kind of like keep your forehead muscles from moving. So it's like a little cast that I sleep with. And I'm doing that this week to try it to see, because I'm getting those 11s and I really don't want to do anything cosmetic yet. Your girl does not want to do Botox yet. Nothing against people who do. All of my friends do. It's just not for me right now. So I'm really trying to take care of my skin. And so this morning I washed my face, and then I did a toner, and then I came in here with my stuff. I just did a vitamin C. This is from Inky List. This is collagen, also from Inky List. And now we're going to put on a moisturizer, and then I'll do my sunscreen later. Gator. That is going to be our routine today. In the meantime, I'm going to put, they're called frownies. Thank you, Portia. Frownies, what I call them, patchies. They say patch on the front, but they're called frownies. And we'll see if they work. I bought them a long time ago. I never used them. Or I used them maybe a couple days. But so far, honestly, you guys can see I have fine lines, but nothing that doesn't just feel nice and lived in. I just don't want anything too deep here that makes it seem like I am, nothing too deep that makes it seem like I am in a bad mood because sometimes it makes you look frowny, like scowling. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just our faces and aging and whatnot. Okay, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Send in your support. We were just talking about Survivor. What was your favorite show of 2000? What was your favorite movie? What was your favorite music? We are going to be out of here in like 5 minutes. So send them in if you want to know more about me from the time. I will tell you, like I was saying, Survivor was the it show in the house. I always felt like I would survive the most because of the Girl Scouts. I knew how to tie knots, make fire, cook food. At that time, I knew how to tell the difference between certain berries and what was poisonous, what was not. Now I don't have that skill. I still have some of the other ones, but that's not a skill that I have. Yeah, iconic does get overused sometimes, Sam, but it is truly iconic. Like, really, Survivor was just iconic, and the buffs and the different colors. I remember I had a purple one. I don't remember what all the colors were. And I would wear it as a tube top because I was so itty bitty. So fun that TV, this is why I love television so much. TV can really bring families together. Like the fact that my sister, my brother, my mom, and I all wanted to watch Survivor. That's cool. And the fact that my brother and my sister to this day watch it together. That is like just like Sam said, kind of iconic. So I remember that. Okay. What else can I tell you guys about this year? Even though I didn't get the support I needed in the Streamlabs, I still appreciate you guys who did support in there. What else can I tell you? This was 1999 was the year that my mom made my, okay, you guys know we had that. We used to stay in like a shack in Cape Cod in the summer. And this is the year that my parents and my aunts and uncles in 99, they started to split a cottage in Plymouth where the Pilgrims landed. Plymouth, Mass, with the Plymouth Rock and the Wax Museum of the Pilgrims, and place a lot of people took school field trips to. So we had a cottage there, and we split it, and we would spend a month there. And if you see on the thumbnail, this is me in the summertime roasting marshmallows in my A1 pants. And it was like some of the happiest moments of my entire life. I felt so lucky. I was with my family. We would we would walk to the beach, and like things were so much safer back then, or at least they felt that way. My parents would let me walk to the convenience store, the local store, and they'd give me a couple bucks and I would get like some ice cream. There's this place called Kush Cone that had the best ice cream. Here's what I would get from ice cream. I would get a banana split. So a banana with chocolate chip cookie dough, ice cream with this red cherry dip on top. It was like this red. I've never found it on the West Coast because it went on hard ice cream, not just soft serve. They would pour this cherry dip that would harden over it. It was just so wild, just so delicious, and probably so much sugar. But I was obsessed. And then we would pick up at the convenience store. I'd grab marshmallows and chocolate, and I would go and roast marshmallows on the beach. And yeah, and my brother, sister, and I, we had two sets of bunk beds in one room, and we'd all live in this one room in these bunk beds, and we'd get to like have a fourth person fill one of the bunk beds, or there was a couch that like it was just a blast. This is when I became besties with my next door neighbors there that lived there year round in like a much nicer house. Um, and I became friends with all the like summer boys and girls. Um, like they were there all the time, but they all took me under their wing, and it was so fun. We would play board games all day, and this is when like I was really into arts and crafts, and there was this wood store that sold, it was like an arts and crafts wood store. I don't even really know how to make it. It was small, and they had different wood things in there, and I would um paint them. So like a paper towel roller, or like to hold the toilet paper, I paint these wood step stool. And I also started taking classes at this place called So Crazy, SEW Crazy. And this is when my sewing skills really took off too. So, and it was me and a bunch of like 70 to 80-year-old women sitting there sewing all day. Just had such a beautiful childhood in this place that I have so much love for. Devastating that we lost the house. But at this time, it was just unbelievable, unbelievable. Looking back, like at 9 years old, time of my life. Jonathan Peck says, favorite movie in 2000 is Emperor's New Groove. I collected Survivor buffs when I was 4. Yeah, man, buffs were the thing. I was just talking to somebody who had a real buff. How cool would that be? Like from somebody who played. So anyway, we have to get out of here. Here's the deal. If you are watching this live or not live, then send in your Streamlabs. I'll read it for the next show. Send them in about 2000. Send them in. Oh, I do have a couple more things I want to do first, actually, though. Shout out to Jonathan Peck with the next super chat. Remember, guys, Streamlabs so that the man doesn't take 50%, but thank you for the support anyway. Cool fact here. The finale of Survivor was watched by 51.7 million viewers, the second highest viewership of any American television episode during the first decade of the 21st century, exceeded only by the finale of Friends. So cool. See, Friends getting credit where credit is due. I don't think I read this one from J-Dog. Breathe had the distinction of being number one without actually hitting number one. Quirky, first time since the 1960s that happened. So how does that work, J-Dog? How do you get number one without ever hitting number one? So many questions. And then I do like to read a couple of comments from the previous stream. So I did want to do that quickly. Let's go to 1999. In 1999, we had comments from a bunch of you guys. Chris says 1999 was a big year for me. Firstly, I was still watching Buffy, Walker, Texas Ranger, E! News, TRL, Loveline, Undressed, and then Angel debuted that year. And then he gives us a lot of stuff he was watching. Thank you for the comment. Kate says 1999 had Stuart Little movie, which was awesome. And my grandpa helped me not freak out about Y2K. Grandma, sorry, miss her. Listen, Stuart Little was one of the only books that I read before the movie came out. And I was that kid. It was like, the book was better. Thank you to 11th Club fan who said, I think this is the year I got obsessed with Pokemon. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this. User said Woodstock 99. A lot of fun comments over there. I read them all, so thank you for sending them in. Appreciate you. We do have another Streamlabs rolling through. Thanks for the support, guys. You don't have to wait till the last minute to support, but I appreciate the support whenever. Mick Perez says, been loving these rocks. Always wanted to join during the 90s, but I'm in Singapore, so it's hard to catch you live. But saw Survivor, and this is one of my fave shows and obsessed with it till now. It has become more about strategy now, and I think you'll love it. Oh, should I get back in on it? I still love Big Brother. I don't know why Survivor was so hard for me to watch after, but I think that's a great call. My friends all love it. My siblings love it. Being about strategy is so up my alley. And so cool that you're in Singapore. Guys, we have a friend in Singapore. Isn't that rad? All right, my loves, thank you so much for being here. And if you're watching After Fact and you Streamlabs in, I will read it next show. Comment on this video, like, subscribe, tell your friends we're doing this series. Next time we're going to 2001. What took place in 2001? Well, let's see. A couple more pop rock kind of things going on. Something that I've been waiting to happen for a long time finally happened. And I think a lot of the movies are geared towards kids. Those are some of my hints. All right, stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat and live. We don't want those flumes. Don't tremble with the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, wherever you are on the rainbow, we love you. Happy Pride Month. Happy Juneteenth. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. And golden sparkles for the Zen one himself. Glenn Caesar, we're thinking about you every day. All right, much love. Later.